Okay guys, so today I wanted to do a video on how to replace the fenders on your saddle. Now this is for a Western saddle. Doing it for an English saddle is pretty much the same. There's the same rigging bar in there, or at least a similar one I should say. The English ones are slightly smaller because the leathers are much thinner than a fender is. But so you want to make sure that you understand how to replace a fender, just in case, like, say your fender rips, it breaks, you need to replace it, or if you're in the situation where I am, where your fenders are too long and that no amount of putting new holes in it is going to fix that, then you're going to need to know how to replace your fender. So the first thing you want to recognize is that there's this little thing called a hobble strap here, which you can't really see it very well because it's a black on black saddle. But you want to take that off so that you can get, so that the fender is loose and completely open. So you're going to take this off, and I'm just going to take this and I'm going to set it inside itself, like so, without buckling it, and just set it on the horn. That way you don't lose them. So next thing you're going to do is there's this little metal bar in the back here. You're going to lift it off as if you were to change the length, which you can't really see very well, but you're going to lift it off like that, and then you're going to pull the pieces apart from each other, and this little metal piece is going to come off. So I'm going to set that down on the ground in front of me, and then you're going to take your stirrup off of the fender and set that off to the side because you're going to need that later. So from here it's just very simple. Just grab the top of the fender and pull down. It may be a little bit difficult to get out because there is an extra piece of leather. So you want to get it to where it bends, and then it should pull out fairly easily. The hardest part is getting this little bit of leather because it's not smoothed down, it's just a blunt edge. You have to make it so that it bends into the tree, which takes a little bit of fiddling with. And a little bit of arm strength, so that does take a little bit of effort. So now your fender is completely off, and I'm just going to set that one off to the side. So first of all, I want to show you guys the difference in the length of these fenders. So if you notice that this one is slightly longer, this is a youth size, this is an adult size, or a full. So now I have the correct side for this side of the saddle. The one that I had that I was showing for the example of size difference is the other sides. And the way that you can tell is with a fender, there's this little bump here that needs to face to the back of the saddle. That way your calf can sit on it. So if you have it like this, with that, as if this were on the correct side, that would be incorrect. You don't want the front facing, you don't want this little bulb facing the front. So what you're going to do is you're going to undo the hobble strap again, which, because this is a newer leather, it'll be a little bit more difficult to do, just because it is a little bit stiffer. And again, we're just going to set that up on the horn. And if you'll notice that there is a slight difference in the colors of the saddle, that's because this has been, the sun has really done a number on it. But it was a black saddle originally. And again, you're going to lift up this little metal piece and drop it, and then set that off to the side. And then you're going to take over the process of putting this onto the tree again. So you want to make sure that your fenders are facing the correct way, so the soft, smooth leather is on the outside and the more coarse leather is on the inside. And a good rule of thumb is this bend should face towards the inside of the saddle. So you're going to lift up your skirt, you're going to lift up the jockey, and you're going to feel around for where the piece is of the tree where the fenders go in. And then once you get it in there, you're just going to try and manipulate it a little bit so that it goes into the tree and then back out. Which, again, can take some fiddling. This is not an easy task with a Western saddle especially. English saddles are a lot easier, in my opinion, to do this with. So, I need to take the saddle off to show you this. But, if you have a saddle that... Hold on, let me get a hold of it there. If it has this break here, if you pull extra into this little area here, it makes it easier for you to bend it back underneath the tree. I'm not sure if all saddles do that. And then you're just going to pull on it until it's completely gone so you can't see it anymore. And then I'll put it back up here so I can finish the demonstration. This is a little bit of a difficult process to do, as I said before. And you're just going to feed it the rest of the way home. So now I have it on there. And as you can see, it slides a lot easier once you get past this leather piece. The leather piece is a bit of a ball ache to get on. And then once you've done that, you can slip your metal keeper back on. And the way that you slip the metal keeper on is, if you notice, this shape has a little bit of a drop. That little bit of a drop goes on this part. So it'll go over the flat piece. So it'll go over this flat piece here, not the little bulbs that pop out. Which, if I can get it to go at an angle where you can see the bulbs, there. These two little bulbs, that's what these little divots are. So you're going to take it and you're going to slide it onto the slack. And another easy way to figure it out is the bulb piece, the part that bows out, goes on the side that has the leather. This is only synthetic saddles have that. Most real leather saddles don't have the nylon, so they won't have a piece of leather on top of a piece of leather, which is a lot easier when you're doing this. So you're going to slide that up on there, and then you're going to take your stirrup, and you're just going to hook it on like so. And then from there, you're going to grab the piece that connects to the holes, put that on, slip the cover or the keeper back on, and there you go. It doesn't matter when you're first replacing them what hole you put them on. It's really not that much, it doesn't make that much of a difference. But once you do actually put the stirrups to the correct size, you want to make sure that you do have them correctly on. And then once you have your stirrup on, you can take your little hobble strap, and you want the buckle on the inside. So you're going to place the flat length on the outside. And I like to actually put my stirrup up on the horn to do this. And usually they only fit on the first hole. And you want to make sure that you get everything in here. So you don't want this flapping around like a weirdo. You don't want any of this stuff unhooked, because that'll actually make the stirrup turn around. So that is how to replace a set of fenders, guys. I hope that helps. And like I said, this is a bit of a harder process to do with Wintex just because they have that leather on top of a nylon. But anyway, guys, we're getting there.